Hello friends, today we are going to see 1.3 Hope is the thing with a feather, beautiful poem composed by Emily Dickinson. Let's move to this beautiful poem. Hope is the thing with feathers by Emily Dickinson. Before going to directly to the poem, let's see something about Emily Dickinson, who she was. She was Emily Elizabeth Dickinson, born on December 10, 1830 and died on May 15, 1886, was an American poet. Dickinson lived much of her life in isolation. While Dickinson was a prolific writer, her only publications during her lifetime were 10 of her nearly 1,800 poems. Her poems contain short lines, typical lack titles. Many of her poems deal with the themes of death and immortality. आपल्याला हे अमेरिकन पोएट आहे आणि तिचं बरंचसं जीवन हे आयसोलेशन मध्ये राहिलंय, म्हणजे ती एकांतात राहिली. तिच्या जिवंत असताना फक्त लाईफ टाइम मध्ये फक्त 10च पोएम पब्लिश झाल्या. तिने लिहिलेल्या होत्या 1800 आणि मोस्ट ऑफ द पोएम्स, जास्तीत जास्त पोएम्स आहेत त्यांचा थीम हा डेथ आहे आणि इमॉर्टॅलिटी आहे, अमरत्व. The poem calls upon the imagery of a seafaring adventures with the use of words sea and gale. Now we are going to see about this poem. We have some words like a sea and gale related to seafaring adventures. Dickinson uses metaphor of hope being likened unto a bird that does not appear when it encounters hardships or storms. The metaphor म्हणजे तुलना केलेली आहे. कुणाची? होपशी. डायरेक्टली कुणाशी? एका बर्डशी. की होप जसं डिसअपियर होत नाही तशी तुलना त्याची डिसअपियर होण्याशी बर्डशी केलेली आहे. होप being something that does not disappear when gale and storm, these are the symbolic words for difficulties. Get worse, it's a song still sings on despite the intensity of whatever is attempting to unseat it. Whatever may be the difficulties, it does not disappear. She also makes note that no matter what the speaker of the poem is doing, hope does not live even if they offer nothing in return. You will find the last line regarding this last sentence. Let's move to some of the chit-chat activities. Hope is the thing with feathers. Is the thing. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की थिंग आपण कोणाला वापरतो? जे नॉन एनिमेट आहेत त्यांना आपण, ओके, किंवा इनएनिमेट थिंग्सला आपण थिंग्स म्हणतो. तर थिंग्स विथ फेदर्स अशी काहीतरी गोष्ट की जिला फेदर्स आहे. इट मीन्स अ बर्ड. Do you ever feel nervous? Sometimes you feel nervous, sometimes may not be. Okay, you may not be nervous all the time, but if we get failures, we feel nervous. Do you ever feel really depressed? Depressed and nervous, these are the two different things. Nervous is a first stage, depressed is the next. Depression, we don't think that we can do anything. That is what depression. What makes you nervous or depressed? What are the reasons that make you nervous or depressed? Maybe failure. आणखी काही पण कारण असू शकतील नर्वस आणि डिप्रेस होण्याचे. There may be so many reasons. What do you hope for on these occasions? Whenever you feel nervous, whenever you feel depressed, what do you hope? This was the question asked to you. What are your hopes? Uh, you can say that I want to overcome the difficulty and overcome. Okay, these are your willings, and what you think that some magic should happen and you should come out of it. Hopes. Okay. Have you hoped for something that you knew was difficult? Yeah, it's quite possible. All the roads are closed, there is no other way of coming out or overcome the difficulty. We feel something magical that God will come and fairies will come or a magician will come or something suddenly something will happen, just like a magic. It is difficult, we know, but still we hope. What do you have to do to fulfill your hopes? We have to have, of course, we have to do put a lot of efforts. Okay, uh, let's move to the next activity. These are the three situations given to you. Actually, this should be discussed in groups. These three different situations. A group of passengers are marooned on an island in the middle of ocean. So, what will they think? Just think of their mental situation. What type of hope they will have at the time when they are marooned on an island in the middle of ocean. समुद्राच्या बरोबर मध्यभागी एक आयलंड आहे त्याच्यावर काही पॅसेंजरला तिथे गेलेले आहेत. There is no chance to coming out. What are their hopes? Okay. Then second situation, a group of pilgrims traveling on the foot have lost their way in a thick jungle. तेवढं पिलग्रिम्स म्हणजे जे तीर्थ यात्रेला जाणार ते लोक त्याला पिलग्रिम्स म्हणतात. दे आर ट्रॅव्हलिंग ऑन अ फूट म्हणजे पायी जात होते. हाव लॉस्ट देअर वे इन जंगल. त्यांचा रस्ता चुकतो आणि ते घनदाट जंगलात जातात. What are they thinking? What are their hopes? Okay, and what do you think if you were pilgrims? What do you think if you were one of the passengers? Okay, प्रत्येकाने असाच विचार करायचा का आपण पॅसेंजरच्या जागेवर असते तर काय केलं असतं. If you were pilgrims, what would you have done? A team of players from an office have got down at a wrong place on a highway at night. It's a lonely spot. What would you do? इथे लोनली स्पॉटला रात्रीच्या वेळी चुकीच्या ठिकाणी तुम्ही उतरलेले आहात. ऑफिस प्लेयर्स पैकी आहात. एक टीमच तुमची आहे तर तुम्ही त्यांच्यापैकी एक आहात. व्हॉट वुड यू थिंक? त्यावेळेस तुम्ही काय विचार कराल? तुमच्याकडे काय होप्स असतील? दिस इज जस्ट three difficult situations are given to you, and you think of what ways would you think, and how would you overcome the difficulty, and what are your hopes? I think you have to think of your own ways, and what type of hope will you have at the time. Let's move to the poem. Hope is the thing with feathers. खूप सुंदर कविता आहे. आपण एक एक करून त्याचा स्टांजा आता बघूया. होप या कवितेच्या ओळींच्या सगळ्यात शेवटी बघितलं तर चार ठिकाणी डॅश आहेत आणि कधी कधी लाईनच्या मध्ये पण डॅश दिलेले आहेत. दिस इज ते जाणीवपूर्वक करण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. आणि होप शब्दाला त्यांनी सिंगल इन्व्हर्टेड कॉमा, whenever we give single inverted comma, a special meaning is applied to it. Hope is the thing with a feather. त्या होपला सिंगल इन्व्हर्टेड कॉमा दिलाय. होप जी तुमची नॉर्मल कॉन्सेप्ट आहे ती तुम्ही इथे कन्सिडर करा. होप इज द थिंग विथ द फेदर्स. The poet, this poem does not have any title, as we saw in the beginning, that the poem does not have any title. The first line is given as a title. The hope is the thing with a feather. Hope is just like a bird that purchase means alights, lives in the soul, that lives in the soul. It comforts the soul, it lives in the soul. Soul means what? The spirit in us. आपल्यामध्ये असलेला जो spirit आहे आपण त्याला soul बोलतो. It sings the tune without the words. There are no words, but it sings the tune, gives the music, spreads the music. Never stops at all. Hope never stops at all. Hope never stops at all. It never stops at all. Birds नव्हे, hope. Okay, it never. But hope is considered. Hope is compared with the bird. Feathers, words, soul, all. We can call them rhyming words. Okay, without words. Okay. Further, let's move to the next stanza. And sweetest in a gale. What is sweetest in the gale? Hope is sweetest in a gale. What is a gale? Gale means strong wind. Strong wind is a symbolic thing. It means a difficulty. Sweetest in gale. Whenever there is difficulty, hope is sweetest. And is heard. Hope says something and it can be heard by you, the person who is facing the situation. And sore must be the storm. Let the storm be very painful. But sore stands for painful, causing a great pain. Still, it is sweetest. That could abash the little bird. Here the little bird means the hope. What could abash? The storm could abash the little bird. The storm is so difficult that it could abash the little bird. एवढं स्ट्रॉंग तो स्टोम असेल की तो एखाद्या त्या बर्डला म्हणजे होपला तो अबॅश करू शकेल. तेवढं अबॅश पण अटॅक or we can say keep quiet or make uneasy. That kept so many warm. What kept? That kept. That means the hope. The bird means the hope. Hope kept so many warm. So many stand for so many people. किती पण डिफिकल्ट सिच्युएशन असू दे त्याच्यामध्ये ती म्हणजे ती आपली असलेली होप किंवा ती आशा बऱ्याच लोकांना कम्फर्ट देते. ओके, वॉर्म स्टँड फॉर वॉर्म्थ. वॉर्म्थ मीन्स कम्फर्ट. ओके, हियर ऑल्सो हर्ड, bird, storm, warm. Okay, let's move to the last stanza. The poem has only 3 stanzas. Let's move the storm. This is also words should be noted. The storm, sir. Okay, and the last stanza. I have heard it in the chillest land. Chill means very cold. Chillest land, and a very very tough time. Very tough time, that is chillest. Or in strongest sea. On the strongest sea. Both the strongest sea and chillest land means the highest difficulty. The poet is giving her own experience. She says that I have heard it. It means hope. I have heard the bird, or I have heard hope in the chillest land. Whenever I was facing very 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 tough situation, I heard the hope. On the strongest sea, again the same thing. Chillest land and strongest sea is the most difficult thing. The greatest difficulty. And greatest difficulty, the poet was able to hear the hope or the bird. Yet never in extremity. Extremity here, the chillest land and strongest sea, these are the extremity, where there is a very less possibility of saving one's life. Or never in extremity. Yet, म्हणजे तरी सुद्धा. Never in extremity, it asked. It never asked. Okay, हे वाक्य आपण थोडंसं वर घेऊया. It वर घेतलं तर लक्षात. Yet it never asked a crumb of me in extremity. Never asked a crumb of me in the crumb means piece, small piece of food. This crumb of me in extremity. It gives us support in strongest sea, in chillest land, in gale, and in very much difficulty. Still, it does not ask us. This does not uh, ask us anything. Does not want anything from us. Okay, this is a poem. In this stanza also, land, sea, extremity, and me. But only rhyming pair is sea and me. Okay. Um, I think we should move to the some of the textual activities so that you can understand the poem easily. Or let's move to the first activity. Match the following, and A and B, these two columns are given here. A column आहे आणि B column मध्ये आहे. A मध्ये दिलेले एक्सप्रेशन आहे आणि त्याचा अर्थ B मध्ये दिलेला आहे. Hope, hope is considered as a bird, compared with bird. So hope 1 should be F, bird. Then gale or storm, these are the difficulties or problems. So 2A. Then C, keep warm. Keep warm means provide comfort, that is E. 3E, chilliest land. The toughest times in life is called chilliest land. So 4B. And last 5, a crumb. Crumb means what? C, a very small bit. Okay, let's move to the next activity. Use the proper form of the verb in each line. I think everywhere present simple tense or simple present tense can be used. Hope is the thing with the feather. Yeah, is gives us a clear idea that it is a present tense, simple present tense. That perches in the soul, perpetual, permanent. So permanent action, perches in the soul. कायमस्वरूपीची ऍक्शन म्हणून आपल्याला सिंपल प्रेझेंट टेन्स वापरायचा आहे. अँड सिंग्स द ट्यून विदाउट द वर्ड्स, आपल्याला सिंग्स SINGS अँड नेवर स्टॉप्स ॲट ऑल. ओके, सगळ्या ठिकाणी आपण प्रेझेंट सिंपल टेन्स वापरलाय किंवा सिंपल प्रेझेंट टेन्स म्हटलं तरी चालेल वापरला, म्हणून तिथे SS आपल्याला लावावं लागलं. ठीक आहे, त्यानंतर ऍप्रिसिएशन कडे जाऊया. हा पोएमचं ऍप्रिसिएशन आपल्याला विचारलं जाऊ शकतं परीक्षेसाठी आणि त्याला काही पॉइंट्स दिलेले आहेत. ते पॉइंट्सचं उत्तर आपण मिळवण्याचा प्रयत्न करूया. द टायटल इट्स अ व्हेरी इझी, यू शुड राईट लाईक दिस वे. द टायटल ऑफ द पोएम इज, फक्त टायटल नाही तर असं पूर्ण वाक्यात उत्तर दिलं तर आणखी छान. ओके, होप इज द थिंग विथ फेदर्स, जसं आहे तसंच लिहायचं, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक करायचे नाहीत. ओके, देन जेव्हा तुम्ही टायटल द्याल तेव्हा सिंगल इन्व्हर्टेड कॉमा मध्ये लिहिलं तर ते आणखी उत्तम. द वर्ड्स, काही काही वर्ड्स हे कॅपिटल मध्ये दिलेले असतात, काही काही नसतात. जसं दिसतंय तुम्हाला तसं तुम्ही लिहिलं तर त्यामध्ये स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक नसेल तर चांगले मार्क्स मिळू शकतात. देन पोएट, ऑथर, पोएट म्हणूया आपण. पोएट कोण आहे? द पोएट ऑफ द पोएम इज इमिली डिकिन्सन. राईम स्कीम, दोन वेगवेगळ्या राईम स्कीम होत्या. राईम स्कीम ऑफ द फर्स्ट 2 स्टँजाज AB अँड थर्ड स्टँजा मध्ये ABCB, अशा प्रकारची राईम स्कीम होते. नेक्स्ट, फेवरेट लाईन्स. माय फेवरेट लाईन्स त्या कोणत्याही असू शकतात, तुम्हाला कोणती ओळ आवडली त्यावर अवलंबून आहे. जी कोणती ओळ आवडली ती तुम्ही लिहू शकतात. लास्ट लाईन ऑल्सो इट्स अ गुड, अँड स्वीटेस्ट इन गेल अँड इज अ हार्ड, ही पण चालेल. होप इज अ थिंग विथ फेदर, कोणती ओळ तुम्हाला आवडली ती तुम्ही लिहू शकता. एनी लाईन you can write here. The next is theme or central idea. The central idea or the theme of the poem is the role played by hope in our lives. आपल्या लाईव्ह मध्ये होपचा रोल कोणता आहे, तो कोणता आहे, त्याचे हे सेंट्रल आयडिया मधून, हे थीम मधून सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न. अकॉर्डिंग टू द पोएटिस, hope, the little bird that nests in our soul or lives in our soul, keeps us going even in the most difficult times and demands nothing in return. This is what very normal idea, central idea of the poem. Okay, आपण हे आतापर्यंत हेच डिस्कस केलं होतं आतापर्यंत, that it demands nothing in return and it lives all the time in our heart or in our soul. Okay, in our difficult times it helps us. Then figures of speech. Personification is there. Bird is considered or taken as a bird, as a human. So personification. Metaphor is also there. And a personification here, life, place, and abstract ideas of a hope is portrayed as a living little bird. Okay, then special features. The poem is full of implied meanings. It tells us the importance of hope and helps us to survive in difficult days or occasions. Here आता फक्त तेवढ्यावरच नाही तर आपल्याला आणखीन एक गोष्ट पाहिजे ती वाय आय लाईक द पोएम. तुम्हाला ती पोएम का आवडली? इथे सांगितलेलं एक्सप्लेनेशनच तुम्ही परीक्षेत लिहावं असं अजिबात नाही. तुम्हाला जे ती पोएम ज्या कारणाने आवडली असेल ते सगळे कारण तुम्ही लिहू शकता. I like the poem because it gives positive message. According to the poet, hope is not easily defeated. It sustains us. Hope also encourages us to move forward. This message, I think, is very important to young people. Okay, and let's move. This is the last activity, I think. Find the phrases, a line in the poem that means the following. Hope is a thing. Hope is a light and delicate thing. So feathers. So it means the line number 1. And hope offers a comfort to your soul. Line number 2 and line number 5 also convey the same meaning. Hope is not a worldly thought. It is a more likely. It is more like a feeling or emotion. It is not a worldly thought. It is a wordly thought. So here, line number 3 conveys, I think, the same meaning. And in the most difficult times, hope offers the greatest comfort. So in the most difficult times, so we can say the most difficult, the strongest sea and chilliest land, line number 9 and 10 can be given here. Also, line number 5 also you can mention here. It means it has the difficulty. Okay, the most difficult, it means the strongest sea and the chilliest land. Hope is not easily defeated. You can say never stops at all. 4, line number 4 can be given. Hope has given comfort to many people. Line number 8, that kept so many warm. Then hope lives in very hard times, even when it gets nothing from you. Of course, get nothing from you. Last, it asks a crumb of me. It never in extremity it asks a crumb of me. This is the last line number 11 and 12. This is what I hope. My last word. I hope all of you have understood this poem. If you have any difficulty, you can. If you want more explanation of any line, you can put in comment box. Okay. I hope you have understood this poem. I have tried my best to explain each and every word and line. Thank you for listening. Bye bye. Take care.